All right, guys, what's going on? Today is March 8th, 2026, as we do the live stream today for the next hour. I'm One Eye Bri, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about Marshals, Paradise, War Machine, any other shows that you're watching now, thinking about now, anything on there. Let me know your thoughts, post your comments below. So today is Daylight Savings, March 8th. And it sucks. What's up, Negan? Well, ultimately, for Negan, he is an Arizona guy, I believe. And so they don't do. I've learned through Negan, and really him, he is the one who told me, that they don't participate in Daylight Savings. I believe it's Hawaii and Arizona, I believe, are the two. I know it's Arizona for sure because that's what he said. But I wish it would just go away. Every time it comes up, it's just so annoying. It's going to take me at least 2 weeks for it to get back to it. What's up, Tim? So we watched War Machine last night on Netflix with Alan Ritchson, who plays Reacher on Amazon Prime. And it's a different kind of movie. It's a movie that is something that draws you in to see what's going on. But it's definitely something that the movie is kind of weird, but it's a good military-esque movie that goes down this path of fighting this alien. And it's pretty interesting, and it wraps it up, and we'll see if there's going to be more movies. So, but it's on Netflix. It's called War Machine. There's the biggest person in it is Alan Ritchson, and there's another actor in there too that is a pretty big actor. He's not a main, super main character of the story, but it's mainly Alan Ritchson's movie. We're watching Paradise. I want to talk about that, but I definitely want to talk about Marshals because last week was the premiere of that, and it was pretty good. I thought it was a good step in the right direction. What did you guys think? Did you watch it? Did you not? What are you guys watching now? So the trailer for The Boys, the 5th and final season, came out, and it looks very good. And we'll have to see how it plays out for the final season. Getting Gen V characters with The Boys, with the final season. Spin-offs probably coming. I know there's a Soldier Boy series that spins off, so we'll get to see what happens there from those franchises, because again, like The Walking Dead, it's not about, hey John, it's not about just the one show. It's about the multiple shows. It's about the universe. It's about the many, many ways for them to keep you coming back to the shows, to the universe, to the series, to whatever it is. And it's definitely something that draws you in. And now with streaming services, you can do that. They don't want one season of stuff. They want multiple seasons. They want the ability for you to keep coming back month after month, year after year for the streaming service that is there. And there's a lot of stuff coming out every, not say week, but probably every month. Like Daredevil Born Again Season 2 comes out, I think it's March 24th or around there. And that's a show that is good because of, the Marvel connection, and we'll see what happens there and other stuff going around. And that's just one-off stuff. You have other shows, other movies, other stuff going on. Hey, Hard Nixie. So, I thought Marshals was very good. And for those who watched it, what'd you think of it? Because I think it's a good start. John asks, Q&A, did you hear about 50 Cent and T.I. beef? No, I haven't heard anything about that, but I know that, especially with 50 Cent, there's no problem having problems with people. He's no problem to the problems. Also, speaking of beef Season 2 comes out very soon, and I talked about it last live stream, I believe, or maybe the previous live stream before that, was there's a show called 4 Seasons on Netflix. Well, I don't know if the first season was on Netflix, but it's on Netflix now, and it stars Steve Carell, Tina Fey, Will Arnett, Coleman Domingo, and there's a Season 2 coming out in May, I want to say. But it's definitely a different kind of show, and they're 30-minute episodes, 8 episodes, I believe, and it's worth watching for sure. Deegan says, just watched an American Skyjacker documentary of airplane hijacker in the 70s. It's a very crazy story. Everything went wrong for the guy. Jumped out of the plane and never parachuted before. Man, so did the person survive, I guess? Is that how you find out about the story? Because hopefully the parachute opened. You know, if you don't know what you're doing, it could be a little dicey too, so. Hardnexy says, it was okay, haven't watched Yellowstone, but too many battles, fights. So, I definitely think that TV is getting to a better and better point, and we're getting more and more shows and more things, and the good thing is that you can watch different stuff at different times, and I personally like waiting. Like, I'm probably going to watch Paradise. That I like watching. I told you, I'm a 1 episode a day kind of person, and I love to watch 1 episode on there too. And then, because Paradise is 2 seasons, well, they're on the 2nd season. It's on Hulu or Disney Plus with Hulu, but it's a Hulu original show, and it's 8 episodes, and we watched all 8. And I think they're coming up on episode 5 of season 2. So I don't know if it's going to be 8 episodes again, but I definitely going to wait to watch season 2 because I don't want to catch up and then have to wait each week, which is not a big deal, but I kind of just like waiting. And maybe we'll start it, but I still have to watch the Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, which is 6 episodes, so that's 6 days there. And then different show. We're watching another show that's on HBO Max. It's called Neighbors, and it's by A24, and they make a bunch of different things. They made The Smashing Machine, which is not a good movie by any means, but they made The Whale, which is a good movie, and they make a lot of movies, and they make pretty decent stuff. But it's a documentary kind of reality type show of neighbors that live next to each other, and we watched the first 2 episodes, and they're different each episode because it's different people and different problems that people are having with their real neighbors of these real things, and it kind of makes you want to be like, I mean, I would love to be in a piece of property that doesn't really connect with another person, but I don't want to live in rural America. Like, that's always the thing with me is I don't want to live so far away from places that are so far to get to a hospital, a supermarket, Walgreens, wherever, a gym, or whatever it is. But I also don't want to live on top of that, like in the city. So it's kind of a tough thing. And living in Tampa Bay, there's enough stuff and enough spots to kind of catch that and find your little area. But the bigger thing is that there's a bunch of people and everything, and you're pretty close to your neighbors. So you never know which neighbor you're going to get, if you're going to get a quiet neighbor, loud neighbor, crazy neighbor, whatever, and it's called Neighbors. Well, I didn't watch it fully, but there's another show, it's called DTF. I don't know if it's called DTF St. Louis, but I think it's just called DTF, and it stars Jason Bateman, I forget his real name, Hopper from Stranger Things, and the woman that's in basically is Hawkeye's wife in Marvel, and she's in a bunch of things, and I don't know her real name, but she's in there, and it's kind of a crazy series, and I only watched like a couple minutes of it, but the premise of it looks pretty crazy, if you know what DTF stands for. Yeah, that's hard. Next says we watched GTF St. Louis and it was horrible. So yeah, we only watched a little bit, so I don't know where it goes after that, but hopefully it gets better then. I don't know. Or 2. Tim says, I only see 2 of my few neighbors only in the winter. So I guess you got to like that, right? It's definitely something to be a part of it, be away from it on there. And it's crazy because I'm on Facebook, every day, and I'm looking at different things. And there's this one page, and I still follow a couple Facebook groups on about The Walking Dead. And there's this one channel, or not channel, it's one group on one page on Facebook, and every week it's always like, Walking Dead fans are heartbroken. Big news, Walking Dead fans. Walking Dead fans, here it is. And I'm like, huh? And there's no news. Like, what's the news? Like, Greg Nicotero was saying something about it, and Robert Kirkman says he would love to have a final season, but knows how difficult it's going to be, blah, blah. Of course, like, we all want to have one more season, wrap it up, or even a small season. Just give me 6 episodes, because they have no problem doing 6 episodes. Back in the day, like, my wife and I are watching Home Improvement on Netflix, which it's still a great show. It holds up. It's still funny. It's still hilarious. I grew up with that show. I remember watching it when it was on television. I can remember some of the bits and the problems and the crazy things that happened with Tim. But Tim Taylor on the show, not Tim in the chat. But it's crazy to think about. It still holds up and it's entertaining and whatever. But it's something that I enjoy watching for the 30 minutes, and it's a good block. And it's definitely something that is enjoyable. So it's something that I'll throw that on and watch that as just a little connection with the show, and it still holds up. And more shows are, interesting to have that ability. But, I definitely like the idea of having something to watch really, really every day too. So it's something with Walking Dead. I don't know if there's going to be a final thing, but my point was, sorry, I got off on a tangent there, was that the Home Improvement used to be like, I don't know, 16 episodes or more than that. I don't know if there was like 20 episodes or whatever, but it felt like one season is a lot of episodes. And back in the day on television, on ABC and CBS and NBC and all those, a lot of those seasons were 12, 13, 16 plus seasons. And then there might have been lesser at the end and whatever. But now shows are 6, 8, 10 episodes. And sometimes it's probably tough to get that extra 2 or 3 episodes, but then you want to have the right number of it. So are you getting 6 episodes, 8, 10, 13, whatever? And it's something that shows would just go on forever, and now they're on for a certain amount of time. They have production, they film, then there's disputes or this or whatever, challenges of filming and whatever it is. But it's something that is different now, too. So I would personally love 6 episodes, wrap up The Walking Dead, let's get our reunions. But again, what's going to be the villain of that group? What's going to be the final villain of things? There's not somebody else waiting out there. They've kind of solved the CRM military angle. The saviors are gone. The Commonwealth is theirs. Like, it's so many things, unless Daryl brought another problem to them. And that could be how it goes. But we'll have to see what happens with Daryl Dixon, the final season, the 4th and final season of that. Does Daryl, does Carol, do they both make it home? Does one make it home? What do they do on there? I don't know, but I'm going to watch, and hopefully it's rewarding on there as well. So hopefully you guys watch The Boys, but if you haven't, the trailer for the 5th and final season is out there, and there's a supernatural connection. I never really watched that show, but it looks like the previous cast members, the actors, are on there too. Like Soldier Boy, Jensen Ackles is on Supernatural and he's on The Boys, and he brought 2 of his people from Supernatural to this 5th and final season of The Boys, so it's going to be interesting for that. And I don't think The Boys needs any more help. Like, I think it's a great show. I think it's an interesting show. It's like the crazy world of superheroes. If you gave people powers, they all just wouldn't be Superman. They all wouldn't be the X-Men. They all wouldn't be Iron Man. They all wouldn't be Captain America. Some people would be terrible. Some people would do bad things, and the world of that as well. And there's a lot of alumni from other different shows on there as well too. So it's definitely something that makes sense as well. So Hard Nixie says our Walking Dead heroes could become villains, but with who? With who? Like, they're not going to be villains of their own people. Do you really want to see Ezekiel be a villain? Rick be a villain? Like, what's going to happen? Like, the whole thing was like, oh, Rick's a bad guy to the Saviors, and Negan's a bad guy to Rick's people. And if we were following Negan, would we be pissed at Rick and liking Negan? Well, the first person is our guy. Rick, Shane, Daryl, Glenn, even Lori, Carol, eventually Maggie, Michonne. They're our people. But if they were part of that, they wouldn't be the same main catalyst antagonist for the show. And so it's something that's interesting. I don't know, but if you try to reinvent everything on there, I don't know. Like I don't really need to like just end it already. Like The Walking Dead in the name, like it's just Daryl Dixon. Great. It's just Dead City. Well, I guess that's another way. Dead City could bring the New Babylon Marshals, which would make more sense if the New Babylon Marshals were the people that were villains. So that could make sense. But the way they're doing that show, that's like Discount Dead. It's like Fear the Walking Dead. It's just so weak and so childish and so... I don't know. It just doesn't work in my opinion. The New Babylon Marshals could be and should be the next big bad villain of the series. Wrap it up, done, fix it, move on. Then that's the final thing. But will they? I don't know. What's their plan? No one's really talking about it, and that would make more sense to me. That's what I would want to watch. Is that I don't need to see our heroes become villains. You know, like the classic movie line now is, if you live long enough, you be the villain. You know, heroes eventually become the villains. But it's a matter of perspective and perception. Perception is reality, you know, and I love thinking about that when I'm writing my book series. So Fight for Us Who, my second book of that series, I'm on chapter 8. I'm going to try to finish up chapter 8 either today or tomorrow. And I'm trying to think about if I'm going to do 16 or 18 chapters now. We'll have to see just how it writes and where we want to get to at the end of this book. But it's just kind of cool to see the world building again. But I've been so busy with the house and the stuff going on there too. Like, I've made a list because it's warmer out now in Florida. Like, it's almost like too warm. And hopefully it's warming up where you're from too. But if I can just try to get some stuff done and it's like I start a project and then you want to do something else and then you enjoy your TV shows to relax, to get up early, to go to the store or go to Sam's or go to something, to come back, to go here, to go to the supermarket, to work out, to come back home, to clean the house, to have dinner, to do this, to watch your shows, to get up, to next thing you know, boom, and then we lost an hour. Like, this time change is going to suck. And it doesn't make a big deal if you don't have anywhere to go, but it does when you have like an appointment or somewhere to be. Like, it's going to suck for the next couple weeks for my body to kind of feel that way, and I'm going to have to go to bed earlier. It's just, I was telling my wife, I was like, they need to put it on the ballot to vote. Each state should make the vote of, you know, do you want to get rid of the daylight savings? And would all the people that are in here, like, would you vote for daylight savings to go away? Because I think it's more of a hassle than it is to keep it the way it is back in the... I don't even know when daylight savings with the farmers really started, you know? But it just doesn't make sense anymore. It's just dumb. But yet we just do it. It's on the calendar. That may be if President Trump doesn't get rid of it. Would that be a good tipping point to be like, the first thing I want to do is get rid of daylight savings? My first executive order for the next president that comes up, you know, in the next couple of years, whenever we have to vote on the president again. It's like, should that happen? But it's like, just leave it. Like, right now, just leave it the way it is. We will be accustomed to it. Like, don't change the time. Like, it just doesn't it doesn't make sense. You know, okay, so maybe it stays a little sunnier for a day, or it gets a little darker sooner. Like, we will deal with it. But the way it is when we start changing stuff around, people don't like it. People like what they have where it is on there too. And I think we would have it done where it's, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense in my opinion, but that's for another day. So, what else were you watching? The Neighbors Show, Marshals. Let's talk about Marshals. So, if you haven't seen Marshals, I'm going to talk about a couple things. So, stop watching now. But Marshals, I thought, was pretty good. It's the first spin-off of Yellowstone after Yellowstone ended. The previous stuff was prequels. And I saw an actual little thing. They were talking about women on Paramount Plus, and they show you like the Dutton Ranch coming soon, and the Paramount Plus with UFC and Lioness, and there's shows that show like strong women characters. And Beth Dutton is definitely a strong woman character. So it is going to be called the Dutton Ranch, and I really hope it connects the dots with Marshals, with Casey, because I would like, again, it connects the dots with the universe. But what we have seen is already connections with the Yellowstone universe, with Casey and the Native Americans, Rainwater, and I don't know the other guy's name, but his protector, second in command, person that's with him, he's there. And so the big thing about Marshals was Casey's wife is not in the show, and she's not going to be in the show is because she died. My guess is that I figured she wasn't going to be in the show based on a couple things, and I had part of the video that talked about it. But it just made sense for him to have to do things because he was set in his life with his wife and son Tate, and they were trying to set things up. But after the Yellowstone is gone, now they have to deal with the Native Americans, the land, and the people trying to mess with them. And so I thought it was a good stopping point, a connecting point that Casey was trying to help them, and his friend, that's a U.S. Marshal from the Navy SEALs, he asked for help with Casey because Casey knows the area and everything there too. And I like Casey, and I like his friend, and the group of Marshals is okay. I think the Native American that's in the Marshals, the Native American that's in the U.S. Marshal is okay. The woman from New York or whatever, she's a little much. She needs to tone it down and be a little bit, in my opinion. But I could see they're trying to play the out of town, out of state person that's a badass chick from the Northeast and whatever. The attitude's just got to calm down a little bit. But Beth kind of was the same way, so I think that's what they're trying to. And the character is the character. We'll have to see. She's just kind of annoying at times. And the other woman is probably a love interest, potential love interest for Casey. We'll have to see if that works out down the road. But we'll see what they want to do with that story. And Casey helping the U.S. Marshals for this, for that, makes sense. Now they set up some more story with this group that's going after the Native Americans because, when they have that, I guess it's meeting, whatever that was, where they're set up, where the political person was going to have the speech, and then there was a bomb, and it was designed to blow up. We thought the political person, but it was actually going after Rainwater. And I'm glad he survived because that would have been pretty terrible. So I just saw the thing. We were watching, what were we watching for breakfast this morning? Something on AMC. And they had a commercial for Dark Winds. The next season's on right now, and the next episode's tonight. And I was talking about The Red Road, which looked like it was on Sundance TV, which was like another channel. But it's an interesting story because it takes place in New Jersey. It looks like Georgia, but I'll have to look up where it was actually filmed. But it takes place in New Jersey with these Native Americans, the Lenape. And Jason Momoa is in it. Lieutenant Leaphorn from Dark Winds, and then his other deputy guy that was new to the tribal police, he's on it. And the night agent guy is there. The woman from Paradise, she's on there. Like, there's a lot of people in there too, and it's an older show. Like, I don't even know when it came out, but it's on Netflix. Tom Sizemore's there. Like, it's kind of a crazy show who was in this series. It's only 2 seasons, I believe, and it's kind of interesting enough. And we're going through the episodes. It's okay. It's nothing great. But it just takes me back to like the Native American connection here with this, and then Dark Winds, and now with Marshals and Yellowstone and all that. And it's okay. Like, it's interesting to see where it's going, and I think that's an interesting topic as well. And I have Native Americans in my book series too because it makes sense, especially with the Seminole Native American tribe that's here in Tampa Bay and in the country and in Florida. So. Sim says Q&A. I will. So I still probably still call it a Sheridan show, but The Marshals was not created by him. Spencer Hudnut created the show. The Yellowstone characters are Sheridan and Joy Linson. Just saying. So yeah, I mean that's true. I mean you're right. But it's still a Sheridan universe Yellowstone show because they're Taylor Sheridan characters. So it makes sense to call it a Sheridan show. It's a Yellowstone spin-off. So I mean, to me, it's semantics. But I see what you're saying. I think that either way, Taylor Sheridan's the big name, draws people in to watch, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's on Netflix, and I believe it's called Wind River. It's a movie with Elizabeth Olsen. No, it's what's the Olsen? Not Mary Kate and Ashley. So it is Elizabeth Olsen and Jeremy Renner. And I haven't seen it, and it probably takes place in some mountainous region, whether it's Colorado or Idaho or Montana or Wyoming or something, or the Dakotas. I don't even know. But it draws my interest every time, but I just haven't watched it. So we did watch War Machine on Netflix. We talked about it earlier in the stream. I don't know if you. It's a Netflix movie, and it's interesting. It's worth watching. It's like an hour and 45 minutes, and it's worth watching for sure. And I was putting on something before I was getting ready for the gym. I was going to watch what was it? Mom and Dad Save the Universe. So I clicked on it. And it wasn't that on HBO comedy. It was part of the Mel Brooks 2-part documentary series. And there was the part where they were talking about Men in Tights. And it's the silly spoof of Robin Hood. But Mel Brooks is so great. Like, it's so funny. They show him and Carl Reiner and Seinfeld on that episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Comedy, I believe. Or it's Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, not comedy, getting coffee, I believe. But it was something like that, and Jerry was there, and he was talking with them, and they just seemed like regular people, but they were so funny, just how they were being, and the spoof of there and Spaceballs too. It just seems like I can't. And Mel Brooks is 99 years old, like it's crazy, and they were saying how sad it is because of Carl being killed off. Dying of natural causes, and then Carl's son Rob, and you're just like, man, that's so crazy. And Mel Brooks is still kicking and doing well, and being 99 years old, and finished filming Spaceballs 2, which I'm excited to see what happens there too. I saw a little picture of the different movies that are coming out this year. And I don't know if I'm going to go to the movie theater at all this year, but I am excited for Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter, Avengers Doomsday, which I can't believe we don't have a trailer yet. You know, it's coming out in 9 months, so it's a long ways to go. Probably around the 6-month mark, I would assume. The Mario Galaxy movie. There was like one, Masters of the Universe. So there's like 5 pretty big movies that are coming out. And there's like Dune and all this other stuff, but I don't care about the Dune series. But there's a lot of good stuff coming out for movies wise as well. And then there's other stuff coming out like on streaming stuff that I haven't even heard of or thought of too. And you never know, when a good series is going to pick up. Like The Night Agent came out of nowhere, and hopefully if you watch that. And it's something that, give it a shot, check it out on Netflix. And Netflix doesn't have to market anything, right? Like, people watch their shows, they make their shows, they can advertise. Just follow them on Facebook and you can see what's coming out. And it's just kind of funny because you don't have to reach them at this point. Netflix is so big. But the big thing is going to be what happens with Warner Brothers, which is HBO, and Paramount. That's going to be the next probably huge big streaming service. That's probably going to be one. And what's going to happen for people who just have HBO and they don't want Paramount Plus? Do you have to have that now? Or do you get both? Well, it costs you more, but I don't know. It's going to be crazy to think about what it's going to be. They showed you, so there was UFC, I don't know, whatever number it was last night. And what's been going around is the June card. That's the UFC at the White House. I believe it's June 14th or June 13th or 14th. But it looks crazy that they're actually going to do a UFC fight card at the White House on the lawn out there too. And hopefully they have a backup plan if it rains or whatever, because it's outside. So I don't know what the plan is for that, but it looks pretty interesting. There's nothing like a super fight, but it is, Ilya Patora, or whatever his name is, the guy from Europe, versus Justin Gaethje. And that's the biggest fight by far. And we'll have to see if they're going to put any other fight or what happens with that for it. But that's a crazy thing that's coming out in June. And then there's like the Manny Pacquiao Floyd Mayweather fight. And then also like Floyd Mayweather is fighting Mike Tyson. And they're like, man, that's got to be something. And now there's all this talk that Floyd Mayweather maybe broke. But it makes sense if he is, because he's taking these other two fights for no reason. That's why you got to take care of your money, man. That's why I always, and I talk about it in the streams and there too, is you have to invest and protect your money, in my opinion, to make it last. Put it in stocks, bonds, CDs, something where you're getting interest, where you're getting your money working for you. And yes, it's annoying with tax returns, and yes, it's annoying with, trying to file your taxes and everything on there, but it's worth having your money work for you to make it last and to make the dividends and just interest off of your money, because you're covered. Like gasoline is crazy priced right now. I don't know where you live and what it is, but I live in Florida, and gas was coming down below $3 for a long time. At Sam's Club it was like $2.49, and now it's, I don't even know what it was on Saturday, $3.49 or $3.39 or something. And if you go to like the Wawa or the Mobil or the Shell or whatever, it's $3.59 or $3 whatever. My wife got gas the week before. It was $3.19, and I thought that was high. So I'll have to see what it eventually is going to be, because of probably the price of oils going up. But inflation, cost of living, everything is never going to be kind of back down to the way it was. I don't know if we're ever going to see gas below $2, so you got to make it last for you on there too. Streaming services cost money, bills cost money, taxes cost money, insurance, food, everything else, And so I want to tell you like a kind of a, I don't know if it's a funny story or whatever, but my wife, we got her a pair of AirPods on last July, because her other AirPods for her phone, the one AirPod is not working. It doesn't hold a charge as well as the other one, and we think it's because she taps it all the time on the right one, so her right one is working less than the left one, and it doesn't hold as much charge as that, which is a terrible design, especially if you have to tap the right one to make it work. It's going to require, but it's a whole big thing. But either way, we bought her new AirPods, and so they're noise canceling, and so she can't hear anything besides the music. And her right one, again, the right one, different series of AirPods, but her right one wasn't working right. So you figure out what to do. So she went to online, and we looked on Amazon, and they're under warranty until this July. So we're like, great, what does that mean? How do we do this? Do we contact Amazon or whatever? They said, no, you have to go to the manufacturer, which is Apple. And Apple, you can go to the Apple store, or you can go to Best Buy. So we figured we go to Best Buy. So we went to Best Buy on Monday. So, because last live stream, I think I talked about it, but so we actually went to Best Buy this past Monday. We went there, we went in, made an appointment. You have to make an appointment, always make an appointment for Geek Squad, for whatever. So you go in there too, and there was all these people in front of us. They took forever. They left. We got up there, and the guy was like, well, they ran the diagnostics, and they did this, and blah, 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 and it failed, so she had to get a new AirPod. So they kept the AirPod, sent it back to Apple. The new AirPod came the next day. So in one day, the AirPod was there. I was like, we can't go back. So we went yesterday. So we made another appointment for Saturday, went there. There was all these people on Saturday. And then there was only 2 people working, which was pretty poor design. The one guy was really struggling, couldn't do this. It was helping the people. It was a mess. We were like, all right, our appointment was at 4:20. We got there a little earlier. We sat down. People were late. It was a cluster F. It felt like the DMV of electronics, right? And there was 2 people working, and that was it. And there was all these people there that were trying to get helped. And they really needed at least one more person helping people. Especially there should have been a pickup line and a drop-off line, diagnostic kind of thing. So, but either way, we had our appointment. It went into our appointment time because they do it every 20 minutes. We went there. My wife got a new AirPod. It wouldn't pair. She brought it up, the Bluetooth thing, finally connected, did the thing, and it worked out. And she was using it, and it worked out okay. But the other thing that was kind of crazy is there was this older couple that was definitely retired, and they were probably in their 70s. The lady was holding a tablet in her arms, and she went in line because you have to go to line, stand there, and they said, "Do you have an appointment?" And we're like, "Yes, so and so, 4 o'clock, 4:20, 4 whatever." And the guy was like, "Oh, I don't see your appointment." And she goes, "What?" And so the guy, her husband, was like, "I'm gonna go sit down." So he just left her in line, went to go sit down, and just was kind of like annoying, obnoxious, like unbearable almost, right? And so with the lady was really nice, and she was like, "Well, I was here earlier at 1 o'clock, and they told me to come back." So he didn't see her appointment for 4:30 that she thought she had, but she didn't have one evidently. So they said they always say it could be closer to 45 minutes to an hour before we see you again. You can go around the store, you can do this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, whatever. So she goes there and she sits down, and the husband's like, what? What are you doing? Why are you sitting here? Because, oh, I didn't see the appointment. What? That's ridiculous. You were just here at 1 o'clock. He's first of all, they're retired. Like, what else they have to do, right? But either way. So he's there, and they don't have an appointment evidently. So the guy came out and felt bad and said, "What's the phone number?" and checked and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, "Well, you were here at 1 o'clock?" "Yes." And he's like, "Well, it would have been me because I've been here all day, but I don't see this. I don't see whatever on there too." So something happened. It wasn't going well. And so the husband was really pissed off. The worker, again, there's only 2 workers. He has to go back inside to help these people, help other people that with their stuff, try to get it fixed out. It was just a big mess. But either way, so the old couple that didn't have an appointment is sitting down, and she's waiting, and he's like, panting and moaning and making all this noise. So he gets his phone, makes a call on his phone, on speakerphone, by the way, and is like, "Yeah, we're down in Florida." And the other is like, "Oh yeah? What are you doing down there?" "Well, we're trying to play golf, but it's pretty hot out there." And it's like so loud and obnoxious. And luckily, my wife and I were called to get her AirPod, and then it all worked out, and we still were in the same time. We actually finished a little bit earlier. And so it was really good. But it was just so crazy how it was. And so if you ever do that, I kind of want to know your experience, what it was, because you got to have a place for that, for laptops, phones, AirPods, connections with technology, because what would you do? Like, I don't know what we would have done. We probably would have just bought another pair of AirPods and replaced it. But luckily, it just was replaced now, and it's fine, and is under warranty. But stuff just isn't made that well anymore. It's kind of designed to fail. So we'll have to see, what happens. Hopefully it holds up, and if the other one's going to fail, it fails under warranty by July. But we're going to have a bunch of little stupid electronics like that too, especially AirPods and whatever. I usually work out. I have the big ear muffs over top my headphones that way, and it does the noise cancellation that way as well too. So that was just my funny. That was actually just yesterday, so we were talking about it, and I was just sharing with you guys. So I watched Marshals on Monday because it's a CBS show that airs on Sunday night, and it'll air, on Paramount Plus the next day. So we'll wait to watch that. I don't know. I'll have to see if we're going to start Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which I don't know what to think of, but it looks pretty interesting too. So I appreciate that, Amino Lover. So just an update of the book series. Like I said, I'm on chapter 8, like a couple pages into chapter 8. And chapter 9 is probably around the halfway point if I do 18 chapters. And, I'm trying to write a little bit more, but I've been, like I said, pretty busy with doing everything and doing this and doing that and trying to get stuff together. But it's March 8th as we make this live stream. And next Sunday is Selection Sunday, if you care about, basketball, because that's the start of the brackets, because they will be made for brackets for the men's tournament and the women's tournament. So I'm a Duke fan, as you can see by my hat and shirt. They had a big win last night against North Carolina. It's always a good win against a rival, which I think North Carolina and Duke is one of the biggest rivalries in all of sports, but definitely college basketball. It's by far the biggest, but especially with rivalries in college sports, it's kind of cool. But I love college basketball. I love that. And then we'll have the World Cup in June, which is pretty exciting to have those things too. So, yeah, no, I'm gonna guess hubby is like either North Carolina fan or a Kentucky fan, is what I'm gonna guess. If you hate Duke, it's usually one of those two schools too. So. No, I heard something about that. I mean, I love her, but if this is just a troll about to talk about that person, yeah, that's not going to work out well in the chat here. So, but yeah, no, my book series is doing well, and hopefully it's going to yeah, and anyone but Duke fan, yeah, no, that's all right. Which is just a fun thing because people will watch out of spite. I hate to say hatred, but out of hate, they will watch Duke to hope they lose. And that's okay too. It's the same thing with the Yankees, or I guess the Chiefs now, or the Patriots or whatever. Like there's certain teams that you just don't want to watch there as well. So, but yeah, I mean that's good. If people are making stuff, good. If you're creating stuff, good. I'm for people succeeding in life and doing everything. And I was thinking about it the other day. I don't know when it became a big thing, and maybe it's always been, and maybe it's just more prevalent to me now that I'm older. But I don't know when it became a thing for people to have to push people down or hurt others or make other people lose so that they can win, win. So if someone makes a comic book or a book series or a YouTube channel or whatever, that's one thing of a genre, an area, a topic that can, help the series or the genre or the area or the, whatever it is, the topic of the zombie apocalypse. Dystopian universe or, post-apocalyptic, whatever. It's cool, and if someone is doing that, great. But do people go onto that person's channel and be like, hey, PT is making another book series. Have you heard? Like, do people do that? Or is it just people trolling other stuff to people go on there too? Like, I don't get it. I don't know what it is. But if someone is making something, that's great. But you have to look into copyright, and if someone's copying stories and whatever topics, and we'll have to see. But, good for people that are making stuff. It's a nice thing to do. It's a rewarding experience when you create something and people like it. I can imagine what it's like for any kind of artist, whether you're a painter or, actor, singer, dancer, whatever. It's just cool. But at the end of the day is, I felt the desire, and my book series has been out for a long, long time. If someone's making it now, you know, I'll have to look into the copyright stuff, you know. But ultimately, you know how it goes down for the series of everything and shows and movies, and it's just good entertainment, you know, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there, and to me, a show or a movie or a series or a book or a magazine or whatever it is, it's an escape for something. And you know, like if you want information, if you want education, you're going to read something or watch the news or watch a different kind of thing. If you're like, even a documentary is always good to watch, and I love a good documentary. Doesn't even matter of the topic too much if it's how it's portrayed. But the big thing about it is, what are we there watching? Is it there to escape? Is it there to get in that world? Like, The Walking Dead was huge because it was such a different, it was like they gave credibility to the zombie apocalypse, to the post-apocalyptic world, to what if this fails? What if the world breaks down, or what if this happens? You know, before, there's nothing new of a story of trying to save the world. Like War of the Worlds and Armageddon and Deep Impact and, you know, Mars Attacks and all these things. Like, there's been a million different things where people have come down, whether it's a virus or aliens or, you know, whatever it would be, that they're trying to survive. And it's all about survival. And at the end of the day, the biggest thing for us at the basic level of existing is safety and survival. And what would you do for the people that you love? You know, and that was the big thing. You know, Rick Grimes was our guy, and he was trying to survive, and he was trying to find his family. And yes, it kind of starts in a similar way to 28 Days Later, where you're in the hospital and you get out and the world has changed. And that's a good way. And that's also a way and a start of the zombie apocalypse. Because if you think about it, if this global thing starts, where are you when it starts in your area? Because it could start at different days, times, whatever. Because, you know, you have to think about that too. It's like, where is ground zero? Where is the central part of that? And for Rick, he was shot, went to the hospital, was in there for so long, came out, and the world changed. And that's Rick's story. But where do you see everybody else starting? If someone at their job, are they stuck in traffic? Are they at school? Are they homesick? Are they, you know, like, it's just all these different things. And then where do you go from there? And trying to find and protect the ones you love is a story that's never going to stop being told. You know, what will you do? Sometimes you got to make bad decisions, tough decisions. Decisions that harm other people in that lawless, dystopian, post-apocalyptic world. It's just crazy. And so, you know, will they ever have another Walking Dead type of show? I don't know. Will they ever have something like that? I don't know if they're just going to keep milking The Walking Dead forever because it's a name, it's a brand. Just like Marvel this, Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel series, Marvel, you know, comic books, Marvel games, you know, like later this year, I believe in September, is the Marvel Wolverine game, which is partial open world. You play as Logan running around and doing all this craziness with his adamantium claws and everything on there. It looks pretty cool. And I love a good open world story, a good open world, because it's like a big sandbox. And it's like a Grand Theft Auto, Infamous kind of thing where you're not just a Spider-Man. You're able to go around and do whatever you want. You can do the missions, you can do the side quests, you can just mess around the entire time. And that's fun, open world a little bit. And then if you're like, oh, let's progress the story a little bit too. And so I actually have to get back to playing my Spider-Man game. And I'll probably start doing that because Fortnite now is, the next season does not start until March 18th. Which is in a week from Wednesday, because it was supposed to be done the 6th, I believe, and then they pushed it back, you know, a week and a half. And so it was Like, man, I'm done. I finished the battle pass. I finished all that stuff, and now what do I do? So then I started a chance to write some more, which is good, which is always good to dedicate more time to that. Just like anything, you have to kind of work at it to get better at it, you know? Yeah. Tim says, changing the water system for the last week. That's been a mini apocalyptic event. I can imagine because we all know, and hopefully you know the rule of three is 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. And so clearly oxygen, air, breathing, the right amount of ability like that too, will, if that ever gets contaminated, then we're in trouble. But also a good clean water source. And I think I read somewhere recently, I forget when it was or whatever, but that place in Michigan that didn't have good water, proper water, the pipes or something was like, it was terrible. And they fixed all the pipes and they finally had that too. And there was like a documentary about it too. It was the one guy that was doing documentaries for a little bit. He talked about it. And that is crazy to think that way too. And I think we're partly losing that as we have to think about our safety and security as what is the main principles of that. Because now everybody thinks somebody else will do it. AI will do it. A computer will do it. And what if they do it wrong? And what if they don't clean the water? Or what if we don't have the purification systems? Or whatever it is, It's pretty essential to life. And so I hope we don't ever lose that because that's pretty crazy too. So yeah, that's great. Tim says started out 40 years ago without, but we have a brook down back. So I can imagine, that's what you rely on. And that's pretty cool to be able to do that too. And so when we're watching Yellowstone or like Casey is living a simple life, and his Navy SEAL buddy that's running the U.S. Marshals, or that group of marshals at least, is like, how do you do this? What do you do? Like, what are you doing on the horseback ride and horseback and walk and riding around and doing all that? And he's like, this is my life. This is what we do. And it's a simpler life, I would assume, but it's still not the easiest life. You have to worry about a lot of things. You got to take care of a lot of things because it's on them. It's being accountable. Someone else can't do it because it's you. It's like you're an entrepreneur, right? You have your own business. You have your own land, your own house, your own whatever, and you have to take care of it. That's the big thing. And if you're taking care of it, then everything is good. When problems arise, because they will arise, it's not like a thing that they won't. And that's what shows and everything is problem solving, right? Like in whatever kind of show, it doesn't matter. The main person has to deal with a problem. And do they have the tools and the ability to solve it? Is it a law problem, a medical problem, whatever, military problem? And they fix it and they move on to the next problem, And I don't know when. Yeah, so it was kind of talking a little bit was a little different, So I agree, Tim. I was thinking about that too when I was watching Marshals. The dialogue and the accent was a little rough at times to understand what they were saying, especially with Casey's buddy Cal. And you're like, got to slow it down a little bit. And sometimes the pilot episodes of stuff are different. If you go back and watch The Sopranos, especially the first season, but the first episode, the pilot episode, a lot of times, and not what they, I don't know what they did there for Marshals, but they film a pilot. And it's usually the starting point, what to do, and then things get changed out, people get changed out, they get recast or whatever. And I don't know if it exists, if people can actually watch it somewhere, but there's the pilot of Game of Thrones, the first episode, they shot this big pilot, and it cost them whatever, say a couple $1,000,000. I don't know how much or whatever it was, but they were watching it, and the test audience and the executives that watched it were having a hard time following some things, and following that, Jamie and Cersei were brother and sister, and things didn't work out. So then they had to reshoot it and do a better job with it. And they did. They shot 2 pilots, is what I believe the showrunner said on there too, because it was so bad. The first one, it didn't make sense too. So yeah, my wife and I, we have closed captioning on when we watch Netflix shows, just because it was an easy switch on there too. But I personally like the closed captioning. It helps to understand what the people are saying. Sometimes the person says something and it doesn't sound the way it is in the captions. And also, it helps your reading. I don't even know what you call it, like reading score or reading, ability to read the words that are put on there too. And, some people don't read books or stuff anymore. It also helps me a little bit of like how things are written and how to write it a little bit too. Sometimes as a writer, it's kind of a good thing for actual. Yeah, but captioning is definitely something. Especially, it's probably good when you're older too, because hearing is a sense that goes away, like vision and smell and taste and everything as well. But it's good to have a little backup there, especially with certain people who have certain accents that you can't understand as well. But yeah, guys, it's March 8th. We're under the Marshals show start now. Like I said, Paradise is worth watching. If you have Hulu and you haven't watched it yet, I recommend it. I think that it would be cool to watch for anybody. The topic is pretty interesting. Again, it's a post-apocalyptic thing that what's happening with that world, and it's interesting because every episode's got twists and turns, and it draws you in to figure out what they're going to do. And I don't want to give too much away. I want you to watch Paradise on Hulu, and it's definitely something that there's so many options now, so many streaming services, so much options for shows and streaming and movies, but there's so many shows that if you don't have all the streaming services, you might want to start to write them down, of like The Night Agent on Netflix, and like write down like the name of the show and then where to watch it. Because I was talking with a patient of mine, and we were joking about like the person doesn't have HBO and blah blah blah, and I'm like, you might want to get a list of shows together and then just get a trial and just watch it, and just get the trial, or get a month, pay for a month, and then watch everything that you can, and then maybe it takes you another month, and then cancel it. Especially at the end of the year, there's always these Black Friday deals, and you can get them for like a couple weeks for like a couple bucks or something. And I'm like, and then you would have an idea to watch. And if you're retired, you can binge watch a bunch of stuff, and then you can catch up. And whoa, that was good. Like, there's stuff that people can't afford. It's so expensive. Like, it's so expensive to watch all the streaming services. Like, if you're gonna get Amazon and Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and whatever, man, you're gonna be like paying. Like, my internet bill is $100 a month, just internet. Then we have Amazon Prime, and we have Netflix, and we have this, and we have and we have all these different things. And then it's like, after a while, it gets crazy price-wise. So at some point, when I retire, whenever that is, hopefully sooner rather than later, I'm going to have to make the decision of like what to watch and what to cut down and what to cut out, because money's going to be tight, and I can't afford everything all the time, which is fine, and I have no problem doing that. But if I cut back certain things, I'm doing it knowing that I can eat. What's more important, a streaming service or food? What's more important, a meal or Amazon Prime, And once you have all that, then you can save money and invest money and then be good and then we'll be all right. But, you know, that's where it's at, guys. So there you go, guys. That's my time. That's my hour. It goes quick when we're talking or two. So glad that person came in and said a couple of nice things. And then they're like, yeah, do you know this guy has a book series too? Like, great. I know you want to say his name, but yeah. Either way, guys, I appreciate the time, taking the hour to be here. So I'll be back next Sunday, and you know I should be doing streams for the next couple Sundays on there as well. But we'll have to see. I may take a little break before From starts in April 19th, I believe is when From kicks back. But then the boys will be back, so we'll see. But I plan to be back next week for our stream. May take a little break before getting back to it in April, just because it's a nice little, especially with this time change, it's going to be annoying. So let me know your thoughts, post your comments below. I appreciate you guys taking the time for that. Keep working hard. No matter what it is, you can achieve it with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice. You can keep doing it. Keep working at it. I'll be back next Sunday, guys, and I'll see you later. See ya.